Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Alyssa and I am really excited to be back here today with another plan with me. I have a couple things I want to talk about first. I tried to do a plan with me for the month of October. However, the footage is gone. I don't know what happened. It's just, well, it's not that it's gone, but it's like not usable. For some reason, there's like chunks of time missing. I have no idea what happened, but it's just, I can't upload that. So I thought that I would kind of go through that with you because I wanted to talk to you about like how I go about planning my month. And I thought that was a really good video. And I could always wait and do it for the month of November, but I really would like to just kind of show it to you now. So in this video, I'm going to show you my October plan, my October month, just kind of talk to you about like my process and everything. And then if you want more in depth and like as I'm going through it, I can do it again for the month of November. But I kind of just wanted to show it to you. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So this is how my October turned out. I am so disappointed that this video didn't work out because it was, I had a lot of fun filming it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and really quickly talk to you a little bit about how I go about planning my month, and then I can do it again for the month of November. I'm so sad that this didn't work out, but I did want you to see it because we have a really big month this month. We have a lot going on. So the first thing that I do is I always put in Callie's dance because that happens every Thursday. And then I also put in every Wednesday that she has soccer. Once I do that, I will put in our paydays as well. And then I will also put in, you'll see these little R's here. Those are for our recycle days. I don't know if you can hear. Let me just pull this up a little bit so you can see. You can see like the little R right there. We have recycle every other Wednesday, and I like to just mark that because if I don't, I will forget. So I always do that. Then once I do that, then I'll go through and start marking the things that we have going on. So I'm gonna walk you through this a little bit because we do have a lot going on this month. So I do put on here when I plan on having new releases, and I talked about this a little bit in my last plan with me, I think for September, because I have a whole different planner that I use for my business. However, I do like to mark in my personal / family planner when I have new releases because those are pretty big days for me. So I try to not have a lot planned for that weekend or right around that same time frame or like the day before, because I'm always kind of preoccupied with this. So I do like to put those in my personal planner. I've got some meetings going on. We've got a lot of stuff happening with the neighborhood. We've got a big neighborhood yard sale. We've got a block party happening. They're doing a trunk or treat, and then they're also having a big trick or treating event on actual Halloween. I've got a doctor's appointment, and then Callie has quite a few Halloween parties. She's got one for her dance. She's got one for her school. Once I put in all of our appointments, I'll then put in laundry day, which is always every Sunday. That just works out really well for us. And then once I do that, I'll come over to the notes section, and I have this month and I have next month. So once I have everything planned, I like to write down over here anything else that maybe could be happening that I don't actually have planned yet, but I need to. So for example, I know that this 9:30 meeting on the 3rd, I'm gonna have 2 more of those this month, but those won't get planned until I go to this meeting. So I know I'm still gonna have 2 of those, but I just don't know what they are yet. So I like to write those down over here. I also know that Dan's gonna be traveling at some point this month. He was supposed to be traveling on this day, but it got canceled. But I do know it's gonna be rescheduled and it's gonna happen this month. So I know that's gonna be happening. I also know that we have to schedule our flu shots. Dan already got his through his work. I have to get mine, and I have to schedule Callie to get hers. And so the reason why I have it written down here is because whenever I go to plan my week, I'll come here and look and see what we have going on and plan my week accordingly. And then I'll also look over here and be like, is there anything else that I need to be planning? Like for example, Callie's flu shot. I got an email from her pediatrician that they have their flu shots in and they're ready to start being scheduled. So I can like call tomorrow morning and get that scheduled for her to maybe come in sometime this week. So that's kind of how I do that. And then I also have one for next month. And so, yeah, I did write down Thanksgiving because, yes, we all know Thanksgiving is in November, but I go all over the place and just, I know Thanksgiving is next month. However, that doesn't mean that I'm actually like consciously thinking about it. So I'm not like consciously being like, hey, Thanksgiving is next month, but that means we're gonna have to budget more money for food for Thanksgiving dinner. That means that Callie's school is gonna be closed. That means that Dan's gonna have some time off. You know, so like I don't necessarily think of it like that when I think in my mind, Thanksgiving is next month. But if I have it written down here, I know, oh, Thanksgiving, there's more than just a dinner happening, that there's more that is, you know, with that. Maybe we'll get lucky and maybe some family will come in and visit. You know, I don't know. It's kind of, you know, up in the air. So I have that written down to kind of remind me that something is happening next month that I have to maybe plan around. So I like to do that. So as the month goes, if more things pop up, I like to come in and write that down. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, Callie's school, they had a eye doctor come in and check all the kids. And how it's going to work is I think they say it could take up to 2 or 3 weeks. If you don't get anything back, it means that everything was fine. If you get a letter in the mail, it just means like, hey, the test came back and said that maybe your kid should go see an eye doctor. I'm pretty sure Callie's fine. We've had her eyes checked several times and she doesn't show any, you know, symptoms or signs of having an eye issue, but you never know. So if I get that letter in the mail that says, hey, you should probably, you know, have your daughter go see an eye doctor, I know I need to write that down. I know that there's some people out there that they'll get that letter in the mail and they'll say, I'm going to call right now. I wish I was that person, you guys. I really do. But my brain doesn't work like that. Like whatever I'm focusing on that moment is what I'm focusing on. And that's my priority. So if I'm cooking dinner and I'm waiting for like the pasta to boil, for example, and while I'm waiting for that, I'm opening the mail for the day. And so I see, oh, hey, Callie needs to go see an eye doctor. I do keep this with me like everywhere I go. So I'll know I will have that moment where I can write it down either right here or right here, Callie eye doctor, so that I know when I'm planning out my week, I need to make that appointment. That's the best I can do in that moment. I can't just remember like, oh, tomorrow morning I need to call and do that. Or, hey, it's 4 o'clock. They might still be open. Let me call. My brain doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but I have to write it down and take care of it in that moment that I have the time put to take care of it. So like, I know that in the mornings when Callie's at school and Dan's at work and I'm working, but the house is quiet, I can focus. I have my calendar out. That's the time to call the doctor and make the appointment. Now, of course, if it's an emergency, I'll take care of it. But we're not talking about emergency situations. We're talking about in the near future, I have to do this. I'll forget. It has to be written down and I have to do it in the time that I have blocked to do that. So that's just kind of the best way that I can work. And honestly, ever since I started doing my planning this way, I cannot think of one thing that hasn't been taken care of in a timely manner, you know? For example, Callie's dentist. I've known for like 3 months that I need to get her in to go see a dentist. And not because there was anything wrong. She's absolutely fine. But I just know that she was at that age where she needs to go see a dentist for the first time. And I just kept saying, oh yeah, I gotta do that. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. And it just kept being put off and put off and put off and put off. And it's just because I think about it in that moment and I don't write it down or I don't schedule it, and it's gone. And then it's gone. It's just, it doesn't happen. It's gone. So last month I wrote it down. I said, no, it has to happen. So I put this month, Callie dentist. I have to make that appointment. So when I went and planned my week, I saw, okay, I have all this going on. And then I saw over here, Callie dentist. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, what morning can I call and make that appointment? The next morning, or that Monday morning, I called, I made the appointment, I got her in 3 days later and it was fine. So for 3 months, I had put that on the back burner and not really paid attention to it. And then the 1 month I finally wrote it down, I had it taken care of in 3 days. So I just, you know, ever since I started doing it that way, nothing has fallen behind. Knock on wood. I remember a lot of things. Like I know, for example, Dan's gonna be traveling. If I didn't write that down and I just let him tell me, hey, I'm traveling this month, he'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's traveling this weekend, and I'm like, no, there's so much going on. So like, I know, hey, he has to schedule traveling this month, and I can say to him, please, please, please try to not do it during this time. There's so much going on. But if I don't have that written down and this written down, 9 times out of 10, it will happen when I don't want it to happen. So, you know, what we do is the last weekend of the month. So for example, tonight, probably while we're watching football, which is not the best idea because Dan's not really paying attention. So we should probably do it before football starts. I'll sit down with my planner. He'll sit down with his calendar at work, and I will say, hey, I would really like you to put these specific things in your planner at work or in your calendar at work, so you know that, you know what's going on. So please try to not travel on this weekend. Please try to be home early, you know, on this day because I have a 4:30 doctor's appointment. Please try to be home early on this day because Callie has a Halloween party that we'd like for you to go with us, and I have my book club, and you know, it's just kind of things like that. So like, try not to schedule any late meetings. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but at least if I tell him ahead of time and he knows a whole month in advance, he's able to plan accordingly as well. And ever since we started doing this, he's been able to attend a lot more things with Callie. You know, if I wait until this Monday to say, hey, on the 25th, this Friday, Callie has a Halloween party at 4:30 and we really want you to go with us, it's not gonna happen. His week is already planned. There's nothing he can do about it. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, he'll miss it just because his work calendar and his work schedule is insane. But if I tell him today that this is happening on this day, then he can plan his month accordingly, and there's a really good chance that he'll be able to make it. That's how I've been planning my month. It's working really well for us. Things are getting done. If you have any questions about this, about how I plan this, how I schedule it, how Dan and I kind of work together. Now, I will say, I do also keep a Google Calendar. I can show that to you one day if you want, but I do keep a family Google Calendar where I put on there anything that is like a schedule. So like all of these appointments are in the Google Calendar. And the reason why I do that is because I like to be able to plan out. So if there's an appointment that gets scheduled November 27th, I can just go ahead and write that on my phone really quickly and just have it there. And then I have Dan, who is also, you know, he's invited to that calendar, so he can go on and look too, but he doesn't. I'll be honest, he doesn't. But yeah, so that's how I plan my month. I'm so sorry that when I did film this, it didn't work out, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things. Please, if you have any questions, just leave them below so that I can maybe do something more in depth or answer your questions or whatever. But I have just really been getting into the whole planning thing, and I have for a while, but you know, becoming much more conscious about my planning and figuring out how to plan with my whole family, because now that Callie's in school and she's in soccer and she's in dance and she's got all these friends in the neighborhood and they all have parties, and it's just, you know, there's a lot happening. So it's really, really nice the way that I've been planning. It's been working really well for us. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments or questions down below, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later.